say I'm shooting shots straight to the point, just like the podcast. Other teams, they run into my shooters, cause we got that. I killed the game and left the court with no condolence. I'm still gonna shoot my shot, no matter how big the moment is. She ain't like when Bess get on that phone. Yeah. You watch it from the TVs in your homes. Yeah. They finna like and sub and leave a comment down below. Yeah.
As always, I want to thank God for waking us up this morning, allowing us to talk about sports, which is something that we love to do. And without him, we would not be here right now. Fellas, y'all ready?
You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the free agency period, there's still moves being made, but thus far, as of right now, we're going to give you our winners and our losers for the free agency period. Rell, give us a winner and give us a loser.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna start off with my winner, and of course, I got to go to my hometown Saints. Yes, sir. The New Orleans Saints started off a free agency with a splash, signing David Edwards from the Buffalo Bills, one of the best left guards in the NFL. Definitely stirred up the offensive line. I'm confident in saying the Saints have the best offensive line moving forward. And moving towards our next offensive signing, we signed Travis Etienne, the running back from the Jacksonville Jaguars, a really good running back, 3-down running back, could play every single position, catch the ball out the backfield, and is a consistent 1,000-yard rusher. New Orleans hasn't had that since Mark Ingram a couple years ago, so it's been a while since we had that. And the best thing is we got these guys on contract-friendly deals, so these contracts are going to help our team out. And not only that, we moved on from our older guys, so we're getting younger, we're getting under the cap, and on top of that, for the first time, we're in a position to be able to draft whatever position we want to draft. At number 8 this year, we can draft the best player available. So with that being said, the Saints won free agency in my book. Moving on to the losers of free agency, I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens.
Really?
Yes, really. And a week ago, when they traded for Max Crosby, I was ready to say they're winning the Super Bowl. I was confident in it, 1,000%. Now you go from losing a top 5, for sure, top 10 player in the NFL who just wrecks games. That takes a big hit on everything. Then looking towards all the players you lost this offseason, trying to sign Max Crosby, Keaton Mitchell, Pat Richard, Isaiah Likely. If I'm missing more, please let me know. But they lost a whole bunch of impact
Tyler
players.
Lindenbaum, all-pro center.
Oh, my gosh. How did I forget him? The most important piece, the biggest free agent signing of the offseason. So, yeah, Ravens, just terrible offseason this offseason. Then you guys settle for Trey Hendrickson, who's a good pass rusher, but not elite. And I feel like you guys did overpay him because he is on his way out the league, I feel like. So those are my winners and losers from free agency.
All right. So Rell had the Ravens losing and had the Saints winning. Jerrick, who's your winner and loser from free agency?
I'm gonna go with a low-key winner here, and I'm gonna go with the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that, and this kind of spirals off of Rell. When you look at this team, Clint Kubiak came and he immediately invested in this defense, and that's exactly what they did. They signed Kwity Paye. You got guys like Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Teron Johnson, a vet in the secondary, and then on top of these defensive signings that you had, you got to get Max Crosby back. That's phenomenal. Like, I understand getting rid of Max Crosby, you were prepared to do that in order to get all those draft picks and the draft compensation that you would have got from Max Crosby. But like Bro just said, he's a top 10 player in the league. He's a game wrecker, and we know what he's done for this franchise and this defense for many years. And now you're adding help and giving him help. That makes things extremely a lot easier for him. And I think that this defense is going to take a huge step forward this year. And then a guy at the Ravens lost, Tyler Lindenbaum. The Raiders picked him up. They signed him. They signed Tyler Lindenbaum. They signed other offensive linemen. Like, they are really trying to get this team geared up and be ready. I know that Clint Kubiak wants the offensive line to be ready to help out with Ashton Genty, and they still have a lot of draft capital, and they still can make moves in the draft with their draft picks to help the team continue to get better. And then when we look at my loser, I'm going to say the Atlanta Falcons. And I think we all know why. You signed Tua Tagovailoa. And that's, to me, I said that this team could be in the playoffs if they sign the right guy to be QB or to back up Michael Penix Jr. You signed Tua. That's not the right guy. Tua's not – he's just not it. And I think we all seen that with the failed experiment in Miami. You signed Tua, who has had his own medical history and history of injuries, to go apart with Michael Penix Jr., who's had 3 ACL surgeries in his playing career. I just think that your team was on the right trajectory. You have a young, nice core squad on your offense, and you just kind of blew it whenever you signed Tua. I don't think that this team will be any good with Tua, and I think that this is going to be a failed experiment. So I think that my losers are definitely the Atlanta Falcons.
All right, so Jerry got the Raiders and the Falcons. Surprised you didn't say the Steelers. I think the Steelers had a good free agency period.
Definitely a good free agency period, but I want to show no bias or favoritism. So I said I'd go elsewhere.
I got you. Well, guys, this year I am the Giants guy. Okay. I think if I've already kind of let it be known that I am the Giants guy, and this free agency period let me know the Giants are ready to make moves and win now, right? Bringing John Harbaugh over here, I think they won the coaching carousel. I think that was the best coach available, and they was able to get a coach that brings winning into the building. That was step one, right? And then step two, you go out and you get players that can make your team more so of a win now team. Offensively, they added Isaiah Likely. Rell talked about it. The Ravens lost him. I think Isaiah Likely can be a tier 2 kind of tight end, right? We just never really saw it as much because he was behind Mark Andrews or dealing with injuries. So now he's going to be with Theo Johnson. They have a nice two-headed monster at the tight end position. Somebody that can stretch the field also from the tight end position. Also offensively, they added Patrick Ricard, another Raven, right? John Harbaugh bringing all his baggage with him. Patrick Ricard can help this run game and get it going with Cam Scatterboo because he was a big reason why that run game was consistent. Like the Ravens were known for running the football before Derrick Henry got there. Right, this is before Derrick Henry got there. Derrick Henry just made it look crazy better because it's Derrick Henry, right? But they've always been consistently running the football, and guess who's been the fullback? Patrick Ricard, right? He has been kind of in the mix in that run offense. So to bring him into the Giants lets me know they want to run the ball, help Jackson Dart a little bit. Then you also bring Darnell Mooney, who we know is no scrub. Right, Darnell Mooney's not a scrub. He's a solid receiver to go beside Malik Neighbors, and you bring in Calvin Austin. Me and Jared talk about it all the time. Calvin Austin Jr. to me was misused in Pittsburgh. And if the Giants can use him correctly, he can be a guy that can stretch out the defense and open up things for Malik Neighbors underneath, Isaiah Likely, and can also take pressure off the run game because he's fast and he's a nice deep threat. But you got to use him correctly. Don't use him how Pittsburgh.
How they use Wando Robinson. Although it's a different offense because you have a different coach now, but we saw they show what a speedy wide receiver can do previously.
Yes, and to me, Wando Robinson, he didn't really have a chance to be Wando Robinson because he had to be the number 1 receiver after Malik Neighbors got hurt, right? So you have Calvin Austin who can thrive as maybe a number 3 in this offense, depending on what they do in the draft, or Darnell Mooney is a number 2, however they want to do it. They also have Darius Slayton still, so they have some nice pieces at receiver. Defensively, you go get Tremaine Edmonds. This might be one of the best front sevens in the league. If Abdul Carter does what we all thought he was going to do his rookie year, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Tremaine Edmonds in that front seven, that is disgusting to me, right? So to me, that is going to help the run game. Not only that, but also Tremaine not bad at coverage. He's not terrible at coverage either. I think Greg Newsome, a corner that used to be on the Browns, and we all know the Browns have had a good defense for the past couple years. Greg Newsome is a solid corner. He's not a great number 1 corner. Not going to, overhype him, nothing like that, but that's a good piece to add to the secondary with Javon Holland. And if they could add Caleb Downs with that 5th pick. Now look at the secondary. You cooking with something, right? So I think they made all the necessary moves to be in a win now kind of situation. And I love it for the Giants. Like this is slowly, like it's a dark horse, but the moves they're making makes it obvious. Like, why wouldn't you pick this team as your dark horse team? All right. And then, of course, loser in free agency, I'm going to go with the Bengals. And the reason why I'm going with the Bengals, and I had a lot of, backlash from this. I talked about it on my TikTok live. People really believe that Boye Mafe and Brian Cook is about to come change this defense. Like, come on. Now, Jonathan Allen was a good move. Don't get it twisted. I think Jonathan Allen is solid, right? He will help that D-line out. But the secondary to me is still below average. It's still poor. Like, I'm not looking at this defense and saying, oh, watch out for them. They have no playmakers on defense. Because Jonathan Allen, as much as I want to give them credit for, like, signing him, did he make that much noise last year? Let's keep it a buck. Right? We know his reputation is he's a solid defender, but he's not making no crazy noise. He's not changing a defense. That's why the Vikings, I believe, signed him or traded for him. And then the very next year he's gone. So clearly he wasn't nothing to keep, right? So like y'all bring him in. Brian Cook is a guy that was in a Spagnola offense. What happens to secondary players that leave that Kansas City Chiefs defense? You don't really hear about them like that when they leave for the most part, right? So Brian Cook, yes, he's a great tackling safety that was in a really good scheme. Let's see if he's the same here. And then Boye Mafe was a guy on the Seattle Seahawks defense, and we got to figure out, was he a product of his environment? Because he only had 3 sacks, right? So was he a product of a really good defense, or was he, a big reason why the defense was good? We're gonna find out. But to me, I don't look at this Bengals team any different. If I make my playoff picture today, I'm not putting the Bengals in the playoffs. Like, I'm just not. And for that to be a Super Bowl or bust team, and I feel this way about them, you lost free agency. And to I think Rell talked about this not too long ago. It's not really the Bengals' fault because, well, it's the Bengals' fault, but it's really Joe Burrow's fault because you wanted T. Higgins, you wanted Jamar Chase. They eating up over half of y'all salary cap, right? So you really don't have the financial ability to make moves like that, right? So it's kind of like, I feel bad for Joe, but at the same time, you wanted 2 number 1 receivers. This is what you get, right? You don't have no resources to put on the defensive side. And then the Bengals going into the draft, I can't trust them to make a good draft pick. When last year they drafted, what's our boy named Shamar Stewart from A&M? Well, he had 4.5 sacks in 3 years, something like that. Like, I can't trust you to make the right decision. Since Jamar Chase, they have not made a first-round pick that made me say, oh, okay, he's nice. It just hasn't happened. So I can't trust you to make a good draft pick. So the free agency period is where you're supposed to hit. And you lost Trey Hendrickson, who the year before last led the league in sacks, but the defense was still terrible. So you lost the best player on the bad defense. And you brought in, to me, some solid pieces, but it's not going to really fix this defense. Because to be honest with you, the defense only got to be like number 20 in the league. They don't got to be top 10. Just be top 20 because your offense will take care of business, right? But I just can't say that they're top 20 after this free agency period. So those are our winners and our losers for free agency.
Yo, they feeling like and sub and leave a comment down below. Yo.